Started. Menu. Audio settings button drop down. Cool. This meeting is being recorded.
Here we go. And welcome to our final Excel presentation. Well, final for the beginner portion of our Excel leg of the Office series. This is part 3 of beginner Excel or fundamentals of Excel, whatever you will. And again, this is just a snapshot into the sort of classes we provide at the Travis Association for the Blind here at Training and Employment Services Technology Department.
From Support Services, Austin Lighthouse to all panelists.
So I want to welcome everybody listening to us live right now, this evening, and to anyone checking us out in the future. Thank you so much for checking us out. My name is Eric Cifuentes. I'm an adaptive technology instructor here at the Austin Lighthouse Travis Association for the Blind, accompanied by the adaptive tech supervisor, Aaron Hoffman. Hey, Aaron.
Hello.
Hello. And tonight we're wrapping up that Excel series, the aforementioned Excel series. And the way I'm going to approach this presentation tonight is through the lens of someone who has an idea. I'm going to assume that most of you listening to this, either live or in the future, understand what a cell address is, what a row and a column is, and how to enter data into Excel. I'll cover these very, very briefly, but in passing, not going to disclose too much information about these things as they have already been discussed in the last 2 presentations. This presentation is going to focus once more. We'll be building on a data model that I have in front of me right now. And we're going to be using formulas to cause automation to occur in a sales report. And we're going to use what's called formula chaining to reference formulas with other formulas. And you'll see what I'm talking about as the presentation rolls on. But it's very powerful and it allows for so much flexibility in automation here in Excel. We're also going to cover formatting cells. For example, if you want a set of numbers in Excel to appear a certain way, for example, currencies, you want those to have dollar signs or decimal points, you can do so using formatting cells. And we're going to also look at formatting dates down a column or row. So using format cells to make cells appear a certain way based on how we want them to look like, using formula chaining to create powerful sets of values that we generate with simple formulas. And then we'll look at how
Services, Austin Lighthouse to all panelists. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, welcome to tonight's presentation. I don't think I've seen you around. So we'll look at that. And we're also going to look at other concepts such as flash fill, go to, and the find dialog box. So let's start here with let me go to the previous worksheet that I have here in my open workbook.
Hardy's price list.
And this is let me turn down the speech a little bit.
Slower.
Cool.
Slower.
So this is a mock inventory of a grocery store and what they offer as far as what they have in their inventory. So I'm going to go up to cell A1.
First cell.
And here I am. I'll do insert C so that you know where I am.
A1.
Here at A1. Control Home will always take you to A1 in a worksheet. All right, so A1 is a top leftmost cell in my worksheet. And across row 1, you're going to see my column headers. Again, my column headers in my data set are those headers or those items that tell me what goes under each column. For example, here at column A,
Hardy's price list, item A1.
I'm going to see item. Under column A, I'm going to see the item that is referenced in this inventory. If I move to the right across column 1,
description B1.
You'll see description.
Case C1.
Case, as in the case price.
Split price D1.
Split price or unit price.
Unit E1.
Or unit, and then unit at column E. So this column or this model is 5 columns wide. And there's about 1,600 rows in this data set because there's just over 1,600 different products sold at this grocery store. So how do we find something in such a big data set? And how do we navigate such a big data set? Well,
Item A1. Edge of
I could go here to the item column and start down arrowing.
Asian foods A2.
So here, starting at A2, the way this model is set is under the item,
Item A1.
you see the different categories of items that are sold. The first category is
Asian foods
Asian
A2.
foods. To the right,
Blank B.
we
Blank,
don't have
C, blank,
anything.
Blank E2. Blank F2. Blank G2. Asian.
That's because our Asian foods start below row 2.
400,000 A3.
All right, so down the column A, we have inventory numbers. So this is not very useful to us. So we'd want to move to column B, the description of the item. So in this case, we'd want to change the name of item to item number. So let's go ahead and do that.
Item A1.
I'm going to come up here to A1, and I'm going to use F2 to enter the edit cells.
F2. Leaving table. Entering table.
And here, I am in a little mini word processor, but only for the cell that I had focus on, A1.
Item. Blank.
So I'm going to add
Space.
the word number
NUMBER.
after the word item.
Control Enter. Item number A1. Item number A1.
So I used Control Enter to save my change. And now item number is a more accurate representation of what this column is supposed to be. Because as you travel down column A, you're going to see item numbers. For example,
Asian foods A2.
Asian foods in A2.
400,000 A3.
And 400,000 is the number of whatever item is to the right of here. So
item. Description B1.
Description is column B, and that's the names of our actual items.
Blank B2. Agar agar 300 CT B3.
You see agar agar.
Baby corn whole 6/6 number B4. Bamboo shoots sliced 6/6 number B5.
So here, as you travel down column B, you're going to see a wide range of items that, in this case, are Asian. Now, the way this worksheet is set up is that as I travel down column B, to the left
401,650 A5
is a corresponding item number. And that's just for inventory purposes. For us, it's not very useful.
Bamboo shoot.
So column B is actually containing the names of the items that we're wanting to search for. If I do Control down arrow,
Yuzu juice 900 MI B84 edge of current.
I'm in the last item, or the perceived last item. However, let's go down one more.
Blank B85.
So there's a blank, but let's move to the left.
Pastry supplies A85.
The way this model is set up is that every time that we move into a new category of items, it starts a mini new table, if you will. In column A, when you run out of numbers, it moves on to the next category. For example, the first table are your Asian items, followed by your pastry supplies. So that's pretty cool in Excel. And then this goes on to about 1,600 rows. All right, so let's go back to the top.
First cell item.
Because let's say I wanted to find a particular item in this table. Let's say I want to find, the item of, we'll say cocoa butter. So in order to search for a particular value, I can use the find dialog. And that allows me to search for a particular keyword. So I'm going to do Control F to enter the find dialog.
Control F, find and replace, find what, edit, Alt plus N.
So you heard find what, edit. Now I'm going to enter the word cocoa.
COCOA.
And now I'll hit enter.
Enter cocoa butter 100% 414 kg B86.
And now we found cocoa butter at B86. So if I hit escape now.
Escape Excel BGN exam cocoa butter 100% 414 kg B86.
I am here in column B. Column B has all of our item names or the descriptions of our items. And I'm in row 86, which contains the first instance of an item with the word cocoa in it. And here I can see that
2 cocoa butter 100, 212.50 C86.
The price for a case of cocoa butter is $200+.
53.15 D86. EA, E86.
And the price for a unit is $53. And the way in my unit is each. So it's just an inventory from a grocery store.
Flip to Cocoa
So
button.
let's say I want to find the next instance of Cocoa.
Control F. Find.
I'll do Control F to enter the find dialog and then press enter once more.
Enter Cocoa butter micro 10/600 gram B87.
And just one row below is the next cocoa butter. I'll do Alt F now to find the next instance of the word cocoa.
Alt F. Show powder cocoa berry 6/2.2 number B270. Alt F. CHZ Jack dry coated W/cocoa 2 number B320. Alt F. Puree fruit of the cocoa 6/30 Oz B1116. Alt F. Cocoa butter 100% 414 kg B86.
And we're back to B86. So as you could tell, down the B column, where our items are located, you saw about 5 different items with the word cocoa. They started off at B86 and they ended up somewhere around B1100. So obviously find is a very nice tool to look for something in a worksheet that you want to find if you don't know exactly what cell that particular item is located in. So that's really useful to find something. For example,
Escape Excel B.
Let's say I wanted to find something
Control
with the word
blank
corn in it.
CORN.
So I'll do corn and then enter.
Enter baby corn whole 6/6 number B4.
Once again, here in B4 is my first item with the word corn in it. Alt F will take me to the next instance.
Alt F peppercorns green WL brine 24/320 B193.
And at B193 we have peppercorns, which is not corn, but it's an item that has the word corn inside of, which is pretty cool. Again, it makes looking for a particular item that you have an idea of what it's called very, very simple. So the steps once more, go to the top of the worksheet, chord the key command, Control F to enter the find dialog box. Enter the name of the item that you're looking for or part of the name, as long as it's spelled properly. For example, if you're looking for peppercorn, but don't know it's called peppercorn, just type in the word pepper, and you're going to search for all of the items that have the word pepper in them. Then press enter and then you'll see the first item with pepper in it. To find the next instance of that item or of an item with the word pepper, press Alt F or chord Alt F until you find the item that you're looking for. Once you found the item, hit escape to leave the find dialog, and then you'll be placed into the cell that has that particular item that you were searching for. It's pretty easy. So let's give one more demonstration.
Escape Excel first set.
I'm going to look for avocado. If I can spell avocado, I should have gone for something simpler. Avocado.
Enter Excel B.
And I can't spell avocado. Let's just go for apple. Apple. Now we'll press enter.
Enter dried apple rings 5 number B555.
All right. So the first instance of the word apple appears in B555, 555. We'll do Alt F to jump to the next session.
Alt F dried apples diced 5 number B556. Alt F dried pineapple diced 5 number B581. Alt F dried pineapple rings 5 number B582. Alt F philo apple chutney reapers 3/50 B654. Alt F apple GSX size 056 CT B689.
And here at 689 is an actual apple. This is a 6 count of apples. And if I want to see more information about this particular item, I'll just hit escape.
Escape Excel B.
And now
B689.
I'm in B689.
Hardee's price list apple GSX size 056 CT B689.
And then I move to the right, I should see the information directly related to this item, as each item is its own row. To the left is the item number, so we won't bother with that. But to the right is the cost of a case of apples.
28.25
So
C689.
$28 for a case. And if I go to the right again, I'll see the price for 1 unit or for 1 apple.
8.05 D689.
$8 for 1 apple. These are very nice apples, I guess. And if I move one more to the right,
blank E689.
There's nothing there.
Blank
So
F6
that's that. So again, this is a very basic inventory, massive inventory, but it's really all you need if you want to price something, if you want to price your purchases, for example. All right.
First cell item number A1.
Now, let's say I didn't know exactly which column I was under. For example, here at the top, across row 1, we have
description,
description,
case, C1,
case,
split price, D1,
split price. Okay,
case,
so there's a number of columns, or there are different columns in this data set. But let's say we're down in row 100, all right? And we don't remember exactly what the column we're in has, as in we don't remember what particular column has a particular piece of information. Obviously, we know that column B has the item, but what does column C and D have? Which column has case and which column has unit? We could always go back to the top and look across row 1 to see, oh, that's right, column C has this particular item or this particular piece of information in it. Or we can establish what are called spoken column headers. And all that does is that as you move across a row, regardless of which row you're on, JAWS will tell you the header, or will speak out which column you're in. So let me give you a quick demonstration. I'm going to go up here to row 1,
A1,
where I am right now, and I'm going to set all of my headers across row 1 to be spoken with the key command Control Insert Alt C. That's a 4-key command. Control Insert Alt C.
setting column titles row range to 1.
And now my column titles have been set to row 1. And check this out. I'm just gonna
blank A1448.
Gonna go down here to row 1.
100.
1,447. All right, very far away from row 1. Now I'm going to move to the right.
Description: tomato, Roma medium 25, number B1447. Case 20.00 C1447. Split price blank D1447.
So here you see, as I move left and right, even though I'm on row 1440 something, those column headers back up at row 1 are still being spoken. First, the header spoken.
Case 20.00 C1447.
Followed by the corresponding information that on the row or the cell that I'm on. So
description: tomato, Roma medium 25, number B1447.
First, the word description was spoken because up on B1, I have description as part of one of my column headers. Then the tomato is outputted to my JAWS, which tells me that the current cell I'm on has to do with tomatoes. So as I move left and right,
case 20.00 C1447.
I always know which column I'm on because I set my spoken column headers to row 1. Remember, your column headers are across a row because columns change when you move in cells across a row. So that's pretty cool right there. I would say it gives you the ability to always know where you're at. And you can also set row headers. So let's go ahead and set row headers as well. So in this case, my row headers are actually going to go down column B, because let's remember, in column A, all I have are
Asian food 400,000 A3
item numbers. Those are utterly useless if I'm traveling down a column. I don't want to know which item number I'm dealing with because I don't know the item numbers. Why would I know 1,400 item numbers? So in this case, my row or my column is going to be
description: agar agar 300 CT B3
B. So here
blank B2.
I'm going to go
description
to B, column B, and I'm going to do Control Alt Insert R, just as we did Control Alt Insert C for spoken columns. I'm going to do Control Alt Insert R to speak the row headers. And of course, row headers go down columns because you move from row to row as you travel down a column.
Setting row titles column range to B.
So check this out now.
Case.
I'm going to go down column C, and you're going to see
blank C2.
Something really cool.
Agar agar 300 CT 520.00 C3.
So now I know that a case of agar agar is 520.
Sauce plum 6/5 number 78.08, C61, edge of
See?
current data, sauce, pond, sauce, sample, oleo, 4/1 gal, 57.53, C63.
So I'm traveling down column C, but those headers that I set at column B are being spoken first, because just like the column headers, when I move up and down, I'm being told what is at the row headers first, followed by the cell that my focus is on. For example, let's do one more.
Sauce, soy, Kikkoman, 4/1 gal, 56.16, C64.
Cool. So I'm on sauce, soy sauce. In the case of that, it's $61. Now, if I move to the right,
split price, 14.04, D64.
That's pretty cool. Now I know that I'm on the split price column, but I'm still in the same row that has my sauce. Do you see what I mean? Now I am never lost on my spreadsheet. I don't have to go to the left to consult which row I'm on, nor do I have to travel all the way back to the top to understand or to remember which column I'm on and which information is on each column. So that's a really, really easy way of remembering or setting a way to keep track of your current location in any given spreadsheet. I use it all of the time, especially your column headers. Remember, each data set, most data sets that you work inside of will always have column headers, but not every data set you work inside of will have row headers. For example, if you are working in a data set that has their column headers, but the leftmost column is your department, and you're arranging, and you already sorted, you sorted your departments in alphabetical order, you would need to set those row headers to be spoken, because you know that every time you move down, you'll probably be looking at the same department. And then let's say you split those departments with a blank row because you want each department to have its own data range. Then you would need those row headers, but you would still need those column headers because the information tied to each column is still going to be the same regardless of which data range you're in. All right, so that's an easy way of doing that. And now let's move to the next spreadsheet, because now I want to do some formula chaining for you guys. And this is the real fun part here.
Quarter 1 sales, Quarter 1 sales, Quarter 1 sales.
So here is a little sales report that I built, and we'll explore this. Let's quickly explore this. I'm up on cell A1.
A1.
And now let's move down. Right here in cell A1, let's see what I have.
Quarter 1 sales, Quarter 1 sales, left parent, Eric's excellent eats, right parent, A1.
So we have Quarter 1 sales, and then Eric's excellent eats here in cell A1. And this is the name of the little business I used to own. And this is the title of the spreadsheet. And it's here on row 1. If I do control right arrow,
blank XFD1.
I go to the end of the row, which means there's nothing else here on row 1.
Quarter.
All right.
Blank A2.
Here in A2, it's a blank row. And I stuck a blank row in between A1 and A3 because that blank row denotes a new data range.
Blank a product name A3.
So here we go. Row 3 is the beginning of my range. So let's explore the different columns that I have across this row, row 3. So starting in A3, I have product name.
January D3.
January.
February C3.
February.
March D3.
March.
Gross sales E3.
Gross sales for my quarter.
Sales tax F3.
Sales tax.
Net sales G3.
Net sales.
Blank H net sales G3.
All right, so this column or this row has 7 headers going across.
Product name A3, edge of current.
And now let's explore what I have going down my row headers. In this case, my row headers are my products.
Coke A4. Diet Coke A5. DR Pepper A6. Pepsi A7. Sprite A8. Sprite Zero A9. Fanta Orange A10. Fanta Strawberry A11. Sweet PT A12. Dasani Water A13. FR Punch A14. MT Dew A15. Coke Zero A16. Total A17.
And finally, total. So I have a totals row at the very bottom. So we have a few drinks here going down column A. And at the top, we have going across the top row at row 3, we have our months for quarter 1, which is January, February, March, followed by our gross sales, our sales tax, and our net sales. And that's our net sales are our sales after taxes are deducted. Again, this isn't an accounting lesson, so don't worry too much about that. But let's solve for this. So
60.
Oh.
Blank. 80. Blank.
Oh,
Set
okay.
total. 8.
So
Product name.
let's go back
A3.
to the
Enter.
top, and on row 3, I'm going to set my spoken column headers,
Setting column titles row range to 3.
and I'm going to also set my spoken row headers on this same column, because down column A, I have my products.
Setting row titles column range to A.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go down.
Coke A4.
I'm going to move to the right.
January 5542 B4. February 5487 C4. March 7456 D4. Gross sales blank E4.
Here we go. So I've already inputted values into the January, February, and March sales. There's really no way for you to use a formula to solve for your monthly sales. I mean, there is, but that would involve some more advanced inner sheet referencing and whatnot. But so in this case, let's say we've solved for ourselves by looking at receipts and our bank statements, so that we figured out how much we sell each month of each product. Okay, now that we found that out, let's automate figuring out our sales for all 3 of these months. So our gross sales are going to be the summation or the addition of 3 numbers. Those sales we had from January, February, and March. So I want to figure out how much Coke did I sell across those 3 months. I'm going to write a very basic formula that adds up those 3 values.
March, January 5542 B4.
So I'm going to add a B4.
February 5487 C4.
C4.
March 7456 D4.
And D4.
Gross sales blank E4.
So here in E4, where you heard it say gross sales, I'm going to type an equal sign.
Entering tape.
And that equal sign denotes the beginning of a formula. It tells Excel formula incoming. So I'm going to type in B4. Oh, I'm going to delete that 3. All right, B4 plus C4
plus
D4. Now I'm going to do Control Enter to save what I just typed in.
Number value as formula E4.
Uh-oh, I just made a goof. We have a error in here.
Quarter 1 sales number value as formula E4 contains errors. Press Alt plus Shift plus F10 to interact.
All right,
contains
so let's
errors.
see what our error is in this case. So I'm going to press F2 so that I can view the formula.
F2 edit equals B3 plus C4 plus D4.
Uh-oh, check this out, guys. I typed in B3 plus C4 plus D4.
Escape.
Why is
number
this
value.
giving me a number value? Why is this an error? So let's go look at our references. What's up with B3? Let's go look at B3.
March, February, January 55 product name. January B3.
B3, here we go. At B3, we have the word
Quarter 1 sales product name. January B.
January. What is wrong with this picture? So our current formula is
Code February 5487 C4.
C4, which is 5487 plus
March 7456 D4.
D4, which is that number, plus
product name. January B3
plus January. Obviously, you can't add number plus month. That's impossible. It does not compute. So it gave me an error. So I looked at it at the formula, what I typed in by hitting F2, and then I figured it out that it's broken because at B3, we have the word January. We can't add January to 2 numbers. That's impossible. You literally, it's mathematically impossible.
Code
So,
February, March, gross sales. Number value as formula E4.
we go back to our error here in our formula, and we press F2, and we go
B3 plus.
So let's get rid of this 3
text
and replace it with a 4.
4.
And I'll do Control Enter.
Control Enter 18,485 as formula E4. 18,485 as formula E4.
And now we have successfully entered a formula adding the 3 cells to the left to calculate for gross sales for Coke. So now let's go across the row.
Product name, Coke A4, edge of current data region.
So here at A4, starting as Coke.
January, 5542, B4.
5542, January sales.
February, 5487, C4.
All right.
March, 7456, D4. Gross sales, 18,485 as formula E4.
And there we go. Our formula adding up those 3 cells that we just passed to get how much Coke we sold across those 3 months. All right.
Sales tax, blank F4.
Now we have our sales tax. So this is going to be a very basic formula. All we need to do here is multiply our gross sales times the sales tax rate. All right. And in this case, I know the sales tax rate by memory because it's 8.25%. So this is where formula chaining really comes into play. I already solved for my gross sales. It's at E4. There at E4, I entered a formula. Now I can build off of that formula and actually use it to find a different value. So this formula is just going to look like so. Equals E4,
E4,
which E4, remember, has my gross sales for Coke, times, which is a star or shift 8. And now I'm going to enter my sales tax rate, which is 8.25%. Check this out.
1,525.013 as formula.
Now I have found the amount of sales tax I owe Uncle Sam based on the sales tax rate and the gross sales that I found at E4. So
gross sales, 18,485 as formula E4.
That first formula added the 3 cells to the left, B4, C4, and D4.
Sales tax, 1,525.013 as formula F4.
And F4 used the formula in E4 and with the result that generated and multiplied it by 8.25% to figure out the sales tax. I didn't even have to enter any extra information. It just pulled information from the last formula. Finally.
Net sales, blank G4.
Net sales is a simple, very simple formula. We're going to use the last 2 formulas that we entered to find our net sales. And all that net sales is our gross minus our sales tax. So equals
entering table
E4, which is our gross sales, minus F4. That's our sales tax.
16,959.99 as formula G4.
And
enter.
according to Excel, that is the amount of money that I get to keep from Coke sales. That was super easy. And now we've entered our formulas and you're thinking to myself, wow, geez, but there's still a whole 10 or so other products. I mean, that's just Coke. We haven't even solved for Diet Coke or Dr. Pepper or Sprite Zero. That's where copy and paste is your friends, guys. All right. So if I'm moving too fast, please let me know. Again, all of this it's stuff that I teach on the daily, so I might know it. I know it very well, so I might move a bit too quick. And so let me know if what I'm showing to you guys is not making sense in any way. All right, so now I want to take these formulas and I want to paste them down these columns. All right, so let's start.
Sales tax, gross sales,
here
18,485 as formula E4.
At column E, my gross sales. All right.
Diet Coke, blank E5.
Here in row 5, I have Diet Coke. And if I look to the left here.
March, 12th, January, product name, Diet Coke A5, January, 4758, B5, February.
You'll see numbers. You'll see numbers for all 3 months already.
March, 1258, D5.
No one likes Diet Coke compared to Coke, it looks like. All right.
Gross sales, blank E5.
So I could enter the same formula, equals B5 plus C5 plus D5. Or all I have to do
Coke, 18,000.
is copy
Copied selection to
the
clipboard.
formula from E4.
Diet Coke, Blank E5.
Paste it down one.
Pasted from clipboard 11,230 as formula E5.
There. That was super easy, wasn't it? And now let's do F2.
F2, entering tape home.
And see what we have.
Equals B5 plus C5 plus D5.
So
11,000.
Excel recognized what we just did. It said, oh, you're copying it just one down, but you're still adding the same cells from the same columns. So I'm going to keep B, C, D, but I'm going to just change the row from 4 to 5. That's what's called a relative cell reference. It's all relative. If I had copied this 2 cells down, it would have done the very same thing. It would have just changed the row number. And if I had copied this 1 cell to the right, it would have done the very same thing. It would have kept the same row and just shifted the columns 1 to the right. That's pretty cool. Now, I could copy and paste this one at a time down the column, or
Diet Coke. 11,000.
What I can do is I'm going to copy this down the column at the same time. So
Diet Coke. 11,230 as formula E5.
Here at E5, I'm going to copy.
Copied selection to clipboard.
And now I'm going to select my way down the column with shift down arrow. Shift down arrow selects the next cell down.
Select DR Pepper E6. Select Pepsi E7. Select Sprite E8. Select Sprite 0 E9. Select Fanta Orange E10. Select Fanta Strawberry E11. Select Sweet PT E12. Select Dasani Water E13. Select FR Punch E14. Select MT Dew E15. Select Coke 0 E16. Select Total E17.
Oh, well, unselect.
Unselect Total E17.
All right, so down to E16, we've selected all of our products. Now we'll just paste.
Pasted from clipboard.
And now let's see what we've done.
DR Pepper 14. Coke 0. 14,364 as formula E16. Edge of current.
So just like that.
Escape. Paste recover. Escape. Escape.
Sorry about that.
Product.
Just like that, we've taken one formula and we selected our way down a column and then we pasted it. That made everything super easy, guys. Let me give you one more demonstration.
Sales tax F3 Coke 1,000.
I'm going to copy the formula for sales tax
F4.
Here at F4 that we wrote for Coke.
Copied selection to clipboard from support.
I did Control C to copy it. Now I'm going to shift down arrow.
Select Diet Coke F5. Select DR F. Select Pepsi F. Select Sprite F8. Select Sprite 0 F9. Select Fanta Orange. Select Fanta Strawberry F. Select Sweet PT F. Select Dasani Water F. Select FR Punch F. Select MT Dew F50. Select Coke 0 F16.
Now I'm just going to paste it.
Paste it from clipboard.
Like so. And when you paste something, you'll always be put back at the top of your column or to the left of the row again.
F4.
See, I'm back at F4. But if I do Control down arrow.
Product name. Sales tax F3. Edge Coke 0. 1,185.03 as formula F16. Edge
I'm down at F16.
Paste recovery escape. Other escape. Product name.
So
paste recovery.
It knows, hey, I selected my way down the column and then I just pasted and it pasted that formula all the way down to the last cell that I selected on this column. And it even shifted the cells properly. I didn't have to write the formula. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was write the formula the one time, and then it pasted it down the column. All right, we have one more column to
sales
do.
Tag, net sales G3 Coke 16,959.99 as formula G4.
But now we're going to do it even quick. We're going to find an even quicker way of doing this, guys. Instead of copying and pasting, I'm going to do what's called flash filling. So all I have to do is select down this row. It's like dragging. I'm going to start here
G4.
At G4, where I have my net sales formula, and I'm just going to start selecting. No copying, nothing. I'm just going to, from G4, start shift down arrowing down my column.
Select Diet Coke. Select select Pepsi. Select Sprite. Select Sprite. Select Fanta. Select Fanta. Select Sweet Pea. Select Dasani. Select FR. Select MT Dew. Select Coke 0 G16.
And now to flash fill, I just do Control D.
Control D.
All right, all it said was Control D, right? But check this out. Let's do Control down arrow.
Coke 0. 13,178.97 as formula G16.
We literally just did the same thing, but no copying and pasting necessary. This is the optimal way of literally copying and pasting formulas, of literally dragging a formula down a range or down a column or across a row, and then just using Control D to fill it without actually having to paste. So think of copy and paste, but even quicker. No copying and then selecting and then pasting. Just select and then Control D. So you can do Control D to paste or to drag down a column, or you can do Control R to drag across a row. You can't go left or up. So it's Control D to drag down a column, or Control R to drag a formula across a row. Very powerful stuff right there, folks. Now we have a full data set. We just literally pasted I would say about 30 or so formulas, but we only had to type in 3 formulas, 1 formula for each column, and then we used 2 different methods, copy and paste and flash fill, to put our formulas or to paste our formulas quickly without having to enter each formula manually. Really easy stuff, guys. But we have a few cells missing. Let's go down to row 17.
Product total A17, edge of current data region.
So here across row 17, our totals row.
Quarter 1 sales total A17.
We
January,
have nothing.
blank
See?
D7 February, blank March, blank these gross sales, blank E7 sales tax, blank net sales. Blank
So I want to
each
get
product.
the absolute totals if I were to add up all the sales for all of my products. All right, this is super simple, folks.
January, blank
Excel has what's called an Autosum feature. There's a function you can manually enter called a sum function, but Excel knows that people love to use Excel to find the sum of values. So all we got to do,
product name,
is go up to the top here in column B.
B3, product January, B3.
All right. And all we got to do is select all of the numbers under January.
Code 5542, B4.
Starting here at row 4, B4, we're going to do Control Shift down arrow to select the column.
Control Shift down arrow, select B4, 5542, B16, 1254.
All right, we just selected everything from B4 to B16. It stopped at B16 because under B16, there's nothing but blank. All right, and we know that in B17, we are going to add up all of these numbers that I just selected. Now, to do that really quick, all you got to do is do Alt-M to get to the Formulas tab.
Alt-M, upper ribbon, tab expanded, Formulas tab, Alt follow.
And you tab twice.
Formulas, function library, Autosum split button, Alt followed by MU.
And here's the Autosum split button. Now, all you got to do is hit enter on this.
Enter, leaving menus, leaving ribbons, selected range, B4, 5542, B17, 67,462.
Check this out now, guys.
Escape.
I'm going to do Control down arrow.
Total 67,462 as formula B17.
And that Autosum literally just auto-entered our formula for us. Check this out. I'm going to hit F2 here at B17. You saw me. I did not enter any sort of formula or function myself.
F2, entering take equals sum left parent B4 colon B16 right parent.
So this is a function here. If I were to do a formula, adding this up, I would do something like equals B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7. That's a very long formula. That's where a function comes into play. This is a very simple function. I could type it out and it would look like this: equals sum,
home, S-U-M,
and then a left parentheses,
right, left parent, B,
and then the first
Bravo.
cell in my range,
4,
which is B4,
colon,
followed by a colon, and then the last cell in my range, which is B16,
right parent,
followed by a right parentheses. We won't go too deeply into this because it is slightly more advanced and it involves syntax, but
Control N.
For at least adding values, you don't need to know syntax. All you need to do is select those values that you want to add and then use Autosum underneath the Formulas tab, and it's gonna do it for you guys. It's like entering it into a calculator. It's really, really cool. I love it so much. All right, but there's still one more thing we got to do. We still haven't added February and March.
February, blank, C17.
All
January,
we got to do now,
60.
guys, is take this function that Excel made for us and drag it to the right now.
Select February, C17.
Across row 17.
Select March, D17.
With shift right arrow. Shift right arrow.
Select gross sales, E17.
So let me
Product.
start all over again.
January, 67,462 as formula
So
B17.
here where my formula is at B17, where I added up my sales for January, I'm going to start shift right arrowing.
Select February C17. Select March D17. Select gross sales E17. Select sales tax F17. Select net sales G17.
And I'll do Control R to fill it to the right.
Control R.
Now to verify that it's where I need it or that everything looks properly, I'll do Control right arrow.
Net sales 203,678.6 as formula G17.
And it did it for me. Boom, guys.
Product.
Check this out.
January 67,000. February 83,426 as formula C. March 71,105 as formula D. Gross sales 221,993 as formula E17. Sales tax 18,314.42 as formula F. Net sales 203,678.6 as formula G17.
There we go. I literally just entered all of these functions, all of these formulas, adding up all of these values by only typing in a few formulas once. And then I just used my little cool tools of copy and paste and the even quicker tool of flash filling to just drag all of these formulas where they need to go and poop, just placing them and seeing all of the magic happen real time. It's pretty impressive. All that's left, guys, is to make these cells look pretty. And by that, I mean using formatting. So all of these numbers here are missing dollar signs, and they are also, many of these numbers are missing decimal points, especially those figures in my month cells. Check this out. For example,
sales tax 18,314.42 as formula.
So that has 2 decimal points. However,
Coke 0 6521 D6.
This value here at Coke 0 for
quarter 1 sales Coke 0 6521 D6.
Coke 0 sales does not even have 1 decimal point. So all we gotta do now is find a way to format all of these cells quickly and efficiently with a dollar sign and 2 decimal points. And even those numbers that don't need decimal points are going to get it because we'll still have a 0.00. So to do this, we can do it one of many ways. We can select the columns and go column by column. We can do it cell by cell, or we can use what's called the go-to dialog box to select the range that we need to format. All right. Now, in this scenario, we don't need to select our column headers or our row headers because the data type that those use is text, right? Across the top row,
product name, February, C, March, D, gross sales, sales tax,
it's
F3.
just text. You might say, well, February, March, and January are dates. They're not dates. The way we wrote them, it's text. We just wrote out the word January, all right? Product. And while we go down column A,
Coke A4, Diet Coke A5.
That's just the names of products. That does not need to be numbered, formatted with decimal points or anything. I'm just gonna mess things up for us.
Coke A4.
So we wanna find the top leftmost number in our range, which in this case is our January sales for Coke.
Product name A for January, D product Coke A4.
All right.
January, 5542, B4.
So starting here at B4, which is the top leftmost cell, we know that starting at B4 is our first number. Now, what's the last number in our cell? That's pretty easy. Or the last number in this range that we need to format. That's easy to find out. First, let's go to the end of this row.
February, March, gross sales, sales tax, 1,000 net sales, 16,959.99 as formula G4.
So far, we've got B4 to G4. But there's more than one row, right? So now let's move down column G until we find the last number.
Diet Coke, DR, Pepper, Pepsi, Sprite, Sprite Zero, Fanta Orange, Fanta Strop, Sweet PT, Dasani Water, FR Punch, MT, Do 8 Coke Zero, total 203,678.6 as formula G17.
So B4 is the topmost cell that has a number value, and G17 is the bottom rightmost cell that has a number value. Why do I know that? If I go to the right here,
blank H17, blank
there's
I17,
nothing
blank
to the
H7,
right. And is there something below G17?
G17, blank G18, blank G9,
No.
blank G20.
So now I'm going to use Control G to open the Go to Dialog Box.
Control G, reference colon edit, Alt plus R.
Control G gets me to the Go to Dialog Box. Now I'm going to enter my range, like so. B4 colon G17. No spaces. B4 colon G17. And I'll press enter.
Enter. Select B4 5542 G17 203,678.6.
And it even said the word select. So now you know everything from B4 through G17 has now been highlighted. Okay? So any changes that I make here are going to apply to the whole range from B4 to G17. Now, let's fix this. Control 1 will open the Format Cells dialog box. I'm going to chord Control plus 1, and it needs to be the one on the number row.
Control 1, number tab selected.
All right, now here I am at the number tab of the Format Cells dialog box. All right. And real quick, this is what's called the multi-page dialog box. So you might be in a different tab. And to move between tabs in a multi-page dialog box, simply do Control plus tabs, like so.
Alignment tab selected.
See?
Regular 10, area, border tab selected, fill tab selected, protection tab selected, number tab selected.
All right, I found the number tab. Now I'm just going to use the tab key to move by control.
Category colon list box general 1 of 12.
So here are my categories of numbers. Check these out.
Number 2 of 12 minus 1234.10.
So it's giving me an example of the number. So number.
Currency 3 of 12 minus $1234.10.
There it is, currency. Let's see what other categories we have though, since we're in here.
Accounting 4 of 12. Date 5 of 12 star 3/14/2012. Time 6 of 12 star 1:30:55 p.m. Percentage 7 of 12. Fraction 8 of 12 up to 1 digit left. Scientific 9 of 12. Text 10 of 12.
So you have quite a few different categories. For this case, we just want a simple currency.
Number currency 3 of 12.
So there we go, currency. So I've down arrowed to currency. Now I'm going to tab once.
Decimal places colon edit spin box 2.
And here we have an edit spin box, and there's just an edit box that only takes numbers. I want 2 decimal points. And you can either type in how many decimal points you want, or you can use the up and down arrows.
Blank, blank, minus $1 blank, minus blank, minus $1,234.10. Decimal places colon edit spin box 2 to set
2. There we go. Now I'm going to tab once more.
Symbol colon combo box $Alt plus S.
And we have here the different currencies. I mean, there's hundreds of them.
Armenian 3 of 508.
There's 508 different currencies. I didn't even know there was that many currencies in the world, to be honest.
$2 of 5.
So we'll use dollars.
Negative numbers.
We'll ignore this negative numbers nonsense.
OK button.
And now we've navigated to the OK button, and we'll just press spacebar on it.
Space. Selected range B4 $5,542.00 G17 $203,678.58.
So now we've given every cell from B4 through G17 a $, and we've also given it 2 decimal points, regardless of whether or not the numbers needed those decimal points. Because in accounting, everything needs decimal points. Even if there's no cents, you still need 0.00 cents at the end because it looks professional. And that's just the standard. I mean, that's just the standard. That's how it works. And that's basically it. I mean, we just formatted this whole cell. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you guys is this table right here, or this range.
Product blank, product name A3.
Starting at A3.
Total net sales.
Through G17.
G17.
It's currently not formatted as a table.
Blank product name.
So all we have to do to format this as a official table instead of just a range is do Control T.
Control T, create table. Where is the data for your table? Edit equals $A $3 colon $G $16. Alt plus W.
Oh, I forgot to select it. So I'm going to do Control A.
Select A3, product name G17, $200.
Now I'm going to do Control T.
Control T, leaving menus, create.
And now I'm going to press Enter.
Enter. Excel BGN exam.
And now
Tab, Escape. Windows.
I formatted this as a table.
Escape,
the cool thing about tables
blank, is product name A3, no filter applied. Drop
is that
button.
They're formatted a certain way. For example,
cell font and formatting colon text color black, background color white, Arial regular 10 points highlighted or code.
The font for the column headers
Product name.
at the
January.
topmost row of my table now have these little cool drop-down buttons next to them, which allow me to apply filters. For example,
Product January, February.
let's see
Product
here.
name A3. No. January B3.
Let's see. I wanted to see. Let's say I wanted to see my sales in January from smallest to largest. I would go here to B3, do Alt down arrow.
Menu, type words to search for.
And now
Menu.
I would down arrow through this little filters sub menu.
Sort largest to smallest. Oh.
And I want to see largest to smallest.
Enter, leaving menus.
So now for January, I've sorted this column in January from the largest number on top to the smallest on the bottom. Check this out.
Q1 sales total $0.0 Fanta Orange $7,211.00 B5.
So in January, I sold $7,000 of Fanta Orange. Let's see what the smallest quantity of a drink for January that I sold was.
Sprite $1,228.00 B17.
So Sprite wasn't very popular in January, while Fanta Orange was the most popular. But that's the cool thing about a table. A range is just a group of cells that are clumped together, while a table is a group of cells that are clumped together that have special little abilities or special formattings. For example, the column headers, I believe, are larger font sizes. They're formatted a certain way. And now each column header on the top has a little filter button. So you can sort and filter the cells going down a column using criteria. And that's just the beauty of tables. Also, tables are very, very accessible for the blind, because I believe by default, a table, when you move left and right, the column headers are spoken, not the row headers. You'll still have to set those manually, but the column headers are still spoken out, as provided that you're using a table formatting. Again, that's Control T. All right. That's a lot of information, guys. That is a lot of information we just covered. Again, there's going to be a handout accompanying this spreadsheet or this presentation when it gets uploaded. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that those presentations are being uploaded. They are up at the austinlighthouse.org website right now. And if you need a direct link, we can provide you with that as well. Email myself at eric.cifuentes@austinlighthouse.org. That's ERIC.S as in Sam, IF as in Frank, UENTES as in Sam @austinlighthouse.org, or Aaron, AARON.Hoffman, HOFFMAN @austinlighthouse.org. And we can get you those links, or we can get you a particular handout. If you want it, please email one of us and we can get that to you ASAP. That'll conclude our 3-part Excel series, guys. There's so much more to Excel that we could cover. We could literally do a webinar for Excel across a whole year and not cover everything. There's just that much there. But for most users, this is literally a gold mine of knowledge for just basic data entry, and as you can tell, some very strong sales and number crunching without actually having to do any complex data entry. So that's real cool right there. And again, guys, if anyone wants classes or knows people who could benefit from classes, please call us directly to our office. I'll answer the phone, or Aaron will answer the phone at 512-647-4625. That's 512-647-4625. That calls me directly, or if I'm not in the office, Aaron will answer the phone. Or leave a message if we don't answer the phone, period. Leave us your name, leave us your number, preferably an email address, and just a quick little reason as to what classes or why you want to take classes, and what classes you feel best benefit you in any sort of occupational or personal pursuit. We want to thank everybody for joining us live tonight. I want to thank everyone joining us in the future. Ms. Dr. Loa Miller, Laura Miller from
From
Northwest
Brandy Lacey to
Eye
everyone,
Care.
colon clapping hand sign emoji.
Thank you, Brandy. Everybody from Northwest Eye Care, Miss Dr. Laura Miller for joining us, or for sending us her clients, and for joining us. She joined us once. But thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the kickoff to a 2-part series on Outlook, and that'll be fun.
From support services.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Meeting control. Alt F4. End. Give feedback. Leave meeting. Space.